Hello and welcome. This is Jennifer McGuire. This is my second video for today and my second video as part of the My Favorite Crafty Things series 2015. This is a series of videos and blog posts where I share my favorite products from the year. I'm hoping that by pulling these products together, you can better decide if any of them are right for you. Now, in this video, I am sharing some things that I find helpful for taking care of your stamps. In my first video, I shared my favorite stamps of the year. These are just some simple tools that I think are helpful to take care of your stamps. Now, I am going to cover stamping tools in a future video, so you can stay tuned for that also. You'll notice that a lot of my favorite things for stamp care are the same as they were last year. I just really like these products. First of all, baby wipes. I really like the Kirkland brand baby wipes. You can get these at Costco or you can get them on Amazon. They just happen to be a brand that I like. I don't find that they pill. I find that they're inexpensive. I like the opening for it. You can kind of snap it shut and save your baby wipe for later. I've had great luck with these. Now, I don't use as many baby wipes as I used to because I like to use a reusable cloth, but I do still think that sometimes you need a baby wipe for quick cleanup, and I use them on my stamps also. When I really need to give my stamps a good cleaning, I use my Hero Arts scrubber pad and Hero Arts Ultra Clean spray. Now I spray one part of the scrubber pad with the spray, I rub my stamp in it, and then I rub my stamp to clean it off on the top part of the scrubber pad. You can rinse the scrubber pad off to clean it. Now this spray works great for clear stamps and rubber stamps, and it is great for giving a good clean, especially it takes off stays on, which is great. However, keep in mind that some clear stamps will stain. That's okay. That's part of the nature of a good clear stamp. However, this will remove any removable ink so that you don't transfer it to another project. These two products, especially the cleaning spray, are essential to me. And again, it will take stays on off, so if you have dirty acrylic blocks, you can clean it with that. Another tool that I use to clean my stamps very quickly is the absorber. I believe the fabulous Laura Basson was the first person to use these, and I'll provide a link to her. But the absorber is great for cleaning stamps quickly. Now, the absorber is what people use to like dry a car after they've cleaned it. It's like a cloth that you want to kind of keep wet, not like sopping wet. It just kind of absorbs water and stays moist, and it stays soft that way. If you were to let this dry out, it will harden, and all you have to do is run it under water and it'll soften it up again and makes it perfect for cleaning. Now, what I do is I buy the absorber, which is giant, and I cut down small pieces like the one you see here. It will stain when you clean your stamps. The absorber will stain, but that's okay. It actually does a great job of cleaning without passing the ink on to another project, and you can clean it up when you need to. Now, what I do to keep this kind of wet and soft is I have a little container I keep it in. Some people let it dry out every time and then just re-wet it. Some people keep it in a baggie, but I worry about a smell with that. So I wanted a container that would kind of enclose it, but not keep it airtight. The solution that I found has been incredible. I've loved it. The problem is they're hard to find. So this is a salt saver. It's left over from my kitchen. I got a new one, and it's what you store salt in, and you can take like a pinch of salt out of it. The nice thing about this is it closes, but it doesn't seal tight, so air can still get in it. So I found that it doesn't smell being in there and being kind of wet, and it also doesn't dry out completely every time I use it. It's also a great place to tuck the absorber in when I'm doing a project so it doesn't touch something accidentally. Now, I'll link to this little salt saver, but I think it's a little pricey. You might be able to find another container with a loose fitting lid or a lid that you can set kind of off kilter to allow a little bit of air to get in, but not much. So when I go to use this and I haven't used it in a while, I just spray a few times into it. That re-moistens the whole thing and makes it all soft again. And I really like using this as a tool. I think it's great. And hopefully you'll be able to find a container with a loose fitting lid, and that might help you. But you can see there how air can kind of get in and keep it going. The absorber really is handy for doing quick cleaning of stamps and your stamping surfaces like your table. Okay, now for acrylic blocks, I really love the Lawn Fawn acrylic blocks. The big reason is they're nice and thick and they have grid lines on them that are so incredibly helpful when you're trying to line up a stamped image. When I do my stamping, I have a grid background that I work on, and I can line up the grid lines on my block with the grid lines on the background, and it helps me to stamp straight every time. Now here I'm just giving my acrylic blocks a good cleaning. They were a little dirty with ink. I like to do that with alcohol swabs or that Hero Arts Ultra Clean that I showed you earlier. Now these Lawn Fawn acrylic blocks also come in a long rectangle and a big rectangle too, but I reach for these two sizes often. Another important way to take care of your stamps is with a good stamp storage system. I use Avery Elle stamp pockets for almost all of my stamps. All of my 4x6 and smaller clear and cling stamps go in here. They're nice and durable, and they have a flap to close on the top. I will link to a video where I show these stamp pockets and the other options I use in more detail. I'm just going to show them briefly here. But this is a stamp pocket. The Avery Elle stamp pocket is what I use for most clear stamps. Now, some clear stamps are taller. You can see this set from My Favorite Things is a little bit taller. So I have a different stamp pocket that's a thinner material, and it's open on the top, but it works great for these tall stamp sets. You could instead just put this tall stamp set in the Avery Elle pocket and have it stick out the top if you wanted to. Now, there are also super big clear stamp sets that are like 6x8. So I have another large stamp pocket that I use for that. I don't have many sets this way. But this again is very thin. However, it really does a good job protecting that stamp set. And then finally, for background stamps, I have these large square stamp pockets that are great for 6x6 background stamps. Now I find all of these fit nicely in containers, and I can sort through them very easily and very quickly. And it's a great way to take care of the stamps that you've invested in. That's just a brief look at stamp storage. I will link here to some more in-depth videos if you're interested in those. Okay, so there's a quick rundown of stamp care that I find helpful in taking care of these stamps. If you are interested in these products, they're linked below in my YouTube description and much more over on my blog, including the discount codes, the giveaways, and links to multiple sources. You can click here at the top left to go over to my blog. In the middle are 3 other things you can check out. The first image takes you to kind of the hub of my favorite crafty things for this year, so you can see everything I've linked, and I'll be adding to that. In the middle is the products I linked to last year. And then on the right is a pretty complete video on the different stamp storage pockets that I use. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon.